Hey, this is Dow Too Fast here, and in this video I will do a full review of this Pittsburgh half-inch drive digital torque adapter that I bought from Harbor Freight, and the item number is 68283. This is the Pittsburgh Pro Series, so it's part of the professional line, and it has a lifetime warranty. So let me open this up and show you what this package comes with. So here's the user manual. This is the certificate of inspection, and this table here tells you what reading they tested the unit at. So they tested this unit at 29.5 foot-pounds, and it read 29.4 foot-pounds. So it was a 0.34% error. And it also tested at 88.5 foot-pounds. The unit read 88.7 foot-pounds, so it gave a negative 0.23%. And the last one is it was tested at 147.5 foot-pounds. The unit read 147.3 foot-pounds, so it gave an error of 0.14%. So these are pretty tight specs on this unit. So here is the digital torque adapter itself, and as you can see on both ends, this is a half-inch size, and on the back here there's a plastic tab for you to remove, so the battery will provide power. Also comes with two adapters. So this one is a half-inch to 3/8 inch, and this one is a half-inch to a 1/4 inch adapter. Now this case can be closed. There's a little foam pad here. Now some people mention that this foam pad right here in this spot might accidentally turn on the power on this, so some people have been cutting this area out so that it won't bump into the power button. But basically, you just close this. It locks it into place. So it's a very nice little package, nice and secure. Now, the purpose of having this type of torque adapter is that it will allow you to convert any ratchet into a torque wrench. And how would you go about doing this? Well, what you can do is attach your half-inch ratchet to the top of the adapter, and then you can get your socket and plug this in, and then turn the ratchet, and the amount of force you exert on this ratchet will register as the foot-pounds on this LCD display. So you have to watch this display, because once you reach the specified torque that you want, then you need to stop turning this ratchet. So this unit does not prevent you from over-tightening, but it'll tell you where you need to stop. Now some people have found a second use of this torque adapter, and that is to use it as a calibration device for your torque wrench. There are reviewers out there who have tested this unit and said that it's very accurate, so that's why they're using this to check the accuracy and calibration of your torque wrench at home. So what they would do is they would clamp the bottom end here on a vise, and then attach your torque wrench on the top. So as a test, for example, you can set your torque wrench to 50 foot-pounds, and then you would turn your torque wrench and wait until it clicks, and then when it clicks, you want to look at the LCD display and see if it registers 50 foot-pounds. If it's showing 47 foot-pounds, 45 foot-pounds, or 55 foot-pounds, then you know your torque wrench is slightly out of calibration. Now, of course, if it shows you 50 foot-pounds, then you know your torque wrench is accurate. This torque adapter is spec'd to operate at 29.5 foot-pounds to 147.6 foot-pounds, or the equivalent 40 Newton-meter to 200 Newton-meter. Now let me go over the buttons on the front to show you how this operates. The center button is your power button. If you press it once, it'll beep and turn on. That says trace, and I'll talk about that in a second. So it goes to 0. And the unit of measure right now is kilogram per meter. If you want to change that unit, press the M button and the PT button up top, the bottom and the top, together, and now you have Newton meter. Press it again, now you have foot-pounds. Now do not push the M and the power button together, because that will actually erase the factory calibration for this unit itself. So basically you'll lose the accuracy of this device here. Now the next thing is the P and the T button at the top here. That represents the peak hold mode and the trace mode. So right now if I press it once, it turns into the peak top mode, and what that'll do is that it will record the highest amount of torque applied to this adapter. So while you're using this, let's say you're torquing something and it goes to 15 foot-pounds, 20 foot-pounds, and you stop at 25 foot-pounds, that value will be displayed on here and it'll hold at that value. Okay. The trace mode is a real-time display of the torque that you're applying at that time. So if you were to apply torque onto this adapter, it'll go to 15, 20, 25, and when you're done with torquing that bolt and you let go of the amount of torque pressure on this adapter, the value on the display will go back to 0. So that's the difference between the peak mode and the trace mode. I personally like to use the peak mode, and I'll show you later on why I think that's a better mode to use to make things a little easier to operate. Okay. Now also there is the plus button and the minus button. What this allows you to do is it will allow you to set the torque that you want to stop at when you're torquing something. So if you press the plus button once, this right now is showing you that it's preset to 80 foot-pounds. I can increase this or I can decrease this. Now if you want to decrease this even faster, just hold the minus button down. You see that it goes a lot faster. So let's say I want to set it to 70 foot-pounds. So now that I've set this to 70 foot-pounds, if you wait 10 seconds, okay, it will go back to 0. There you go. That tells you that this unit is ready to be used. So what will happen is that if you connect a ratchet to this adapter and you start torquing a bolt, once it reaches close to 70 foot-pounds, the LED will turn red, and then you hear a beeping until you reach 70 foot-pounds, at which point the LED will be a solid red and the beeping will be a solid beeping you hear. The M button here at the bottom is for memory. So let's say if you're using the peak mode to show you the peak torque that was applied to this adapter, you can press the M button and it'll store that torque setting that you just did. And you keep on pressing this to store multiple readings, and it has up to 50 memories built into this unit. Okay. One more thing about this unit is that if you don't use this, you just leave it sitting there, after 80 seconds of no activity, it will turn off on its own. So in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this lug nut, which I've loosened earlier, to 85 foot-pounds. So first I'm going to adjust this. First turn it on, go to 0, and then press the plus button, go to 85 foot-pounds. There, 85 foot-pounds. And then I'll connect the socket to the bottom. As you can see, after 10 seconds it'll go back to 0, telling you it's ready to be used. I have my 1/2-inch ratchet. This is not a torque wrench, just a regular ratchet. And I'll connect this up top here. Okay. Now as you can see, the socket is attached to this adapter here. So when I'm tightening up the lug nut, this display will also rotate. So you can't really rely on looking at the LCD display to know what torque you're at. So the best thing is to listen for the beeping, because once the beeping starts, it means that you're very close to your target torque that you've preset to. And then once you hear a constant beep, you need to stop right away. So let's start tightening this. As you can see, it's green. It's telling you that it's measuring torque right now. And just give it a nice, smooth tightening motion. Stop. So as you can see, I stopped at 86.2, about a pound more than what I preset the torque adapter to. So the red light lit up steady, the beep was steady, and then that's when you stop tightening the lug nut. So now let me show you how the trace mode works compared to the peak mode. If I press the PT button, I'll go to trace, go back to 0, and then if I apply torque to this, you see the number goes up for the amount of torque I'm applying. Once I release the pressure on the adapter, I go back to 0. Again, if I exert any force on torque wrench, it'll go up. Now it'll still give you the LED and the beeping indicator when you reach the preset torque. But once you let go of the ratchet, it'll go back to 0. So let me go back to the peak mode, and I'll show you the difference. So if I apply torque to it and I stop, it shows you the value of the last peak torque that was applied. And keep on going. So here you can see that I stopped at 86.5 foot-pounds. So as you can see, this torque adapter does not prevent you from over-tightening a bolt or a lug nut. You do have to pay attention to the visual and audible indicator that's built in when you've reached the peak torque setting you've preset into this unit. But with some practice, you're able to use this device on any ratchet and turn it into a torque wrench. And I find this device to be very accurate. It's built very solidly. I will be doing a second video to show you how to use this torque adapter to check the calibration of your torque wrench. I'll upload that later on. But anyways, I hope you enjoy watching this video. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And if you like the video, please subscribe. Thank you.